Assalamu alaikum dear students. Let's begin this lecture. Lecture number 2. Let's begin with the name of Allah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Dear students, you know that in our previous lecture we talked about short stories. We talked about some of the basic elements of the short stories. We defined what a short story is. We defined that a short story is a fictional or a non-fictional narrative that is generally focuses around one particular character, theme or incident. It is short, that's why it is called a short story which could be read in one sitting. Then we talked about the basic elements of the short story, like the basic elements were we talked about setting, we talked about theme, we talked about characters, we talked about conflict and the plot. In today's lecture, we will talk about your chapter number 4, the short story Butterflies, written by the writer Roger Dean Kisser. We will try to translate this short story, and then we will try to implement all basic elements and find all basic elements in this short story. Okay, turn to page number 41 of your NBF book, unit number 4, Butterflies. Okay, I am reading from page 41, paragraph number 1. There was a time in my life when beauty meant something special to me. I guess that would have been when I was about 6 or 7 years old, just several weeks or maybe a month before the orphanage turned me into an old man. Okay, students, in our last lecture we talked about the advanced elements of the short story, where we talked about the point of view. I told you that there are 3 point of views: first person, second person and the third person. The first person are I, my, me, we, our, us. So, in the first paragraph you can see the pronoun I had been used by the writer. I guess that would have been when I was about 6 or 7 years old. So, it means this short story has been written from the first person's point of view, the writer himself. The writer, the author of this short story, Roger Dean Kisser himself, is sharing his experience of living in an orphanage. That's why in the first paragraph he said that there was a time in my life when beauty meant something special to me. I guess that would have been when I was about 6 or 7 years of age. Let me tell you the brief background of the writer as well, despite the fact that in your paper, in section B especially, you are not asked any question regarding the background of the writer, the author and the poets and the dramatist and the novelist. But even then, if you knew a little about the writers, then it is better to understand, it is good to understand their works. The writer, unfortunately himself, he had been abandoned and forsaken by his parents, his own parents, and then unfortunately he had to live in an orphanage. That's why he is in a better position to explain, unfortunately, what type of life the children live in the orphanage, what type of experiences they had in the orphanage. That's why the writer said that when he was about 6 or 7 years of age, he had to enter into the orphanage because his parents unfortunately had forsaken him, and unfortunately before entering into the orphanage, beauty meant something special to the writer. The writer knew the writer was innocent, his heart was innocent, his heart was pure. He knew he was in search of beauty in everything, but unfortunately his stay, only a few months stay in the orphanage, had turned him from being an innocent, immature and pure-hearted boy unfortunately into a cruel boy. A boy unfortunately whose heart had become quite stubborn. That's why he said that only a few months stay in the orphanage had turned me from a young boy, from a young, immature, innocent boy into an old man. It means the stay in the orphanage had taken away all his innocence from him. Second paragraph, I would get up now. These are the rising actions. In the plot we have read about exposition. The writer had exposed in the first paragraph that it's an orphanage where the entire short story and the events of the entire short story, they are going to take place. And then after the first paragraph follows the rising actions. I would get up every morning at the orphanage, second paragraph on the same page, make my bed just like the little soldier that I had become. Then I would get into one of the two straight lines and march to breakfast with the other 20 or 30 boys who also lived in my dormitory. Students, you can watch and you can see that all difficult words and their meanings, they have been written on the whiteboard for you. Dormitory is a large bedroom, a kind of a hostel where generally the students, they sleep and they live over there, especially at night. So I would get up every morning at the orphanage, make my bed just like the little soldier that I had become. So a boy of 6 to 7 years of age, unfortunately living in the orphanage, living under the cruel eyes of the people at the orphanage, unfortunately had turned him from an innocent boy into a kind of a soldier, the soldier who had to follow the instructions and the commandments of his housemasters. So he had to get up early in the morning, he had to follow a particular schedule over there, he had to move just like a soldier, obeying all the commandments of his housemasters. He had to fall into the lines along with other 20 or 30 boys who were living with him in that dormitory, in that orphanage, and then obviously they have to fulfill their demands. Third paragraph. After breakfast one Saturday morning, I returned to the dormitory and saw the housemaster chasing the beautiful monarch butterflies that lived by the hundreds in the azalea bushes strewn around the orphanage. Monarch means huge, large, big, just like the king or the queen. Azalea are the flowering shrubs, and strewn means scattered or sprinkle. After taking the breakfast, after falling into the lines with other boys and after behaving just like a soldier, after obeying the commandments of his housemasters, whenever the writer had some time for enjoyment and relaxation, he likes to go into the backyard probably of the orphanage. And one day he did what? After breakfast, one Saturday morning, I returned to the dormitory and saw the housemaster chasing the beautiful monarch butterflies that lived by the hundreds in the azalea bushes strewn around the orphanage. It was probably the custom of the writer that in order to enjoy the beauty of the nature, he used to do what? Probably he used to go back at the backyard of the orphanage and then he tried to follow the beautiful butterflies over there. So he saw one day what on Saturday morning that the housemaster, he was chasing the butterflies, especially the monarch and the big butterflies. You can see the picture on the page 41 and the next page 42 as well. The housemaster was chasing these beautiful butterflies, and these butterflies over there, they were hundreds in number, and the butterflies were hovering over there, here and there, flying over here and there, and the housemaster was chasing all these butterflies. And the writer, Roger Dean Kisser, the boy at that time, only a 6 or 7 years of boy, unfortunately he got surprised and astonished that why the housemaster was chasing all these butterflies. I carefully watched as he caught, next paragraph, I carefully watched as he caught these beautiful creatures one after the other, and then took them from the net and then stuck straight pins through their head and wings, pinning them onto a heavy cardboard sheet. To the utmost surprise of the writer saw that the housemaster, he caught those beautiful butterflies, the big monarch butterflies, and unfortunately he just stuck them on a big cardboard. He stuck straight pins. He used pins in order to stuck the body of the beautiful butterflies on the heavy cardboard sheet. Probably the housemaster was going to use all these beautiful butterflies as specimen. The next paragraph, how cruel it was to kill something of such beauty. I had walked many times out into the bushes all by myself just so the butterflies could land on my head, face and hands so I could look at them up close. According to the writer, it was a very painful and cruel experience for him to watch all these beautiful butterflies being pinned down by the housemaster on a heavy cardboard sheet. And the writer, the author, Roger Dean, he wasn't expecting that such beautiful creatures of the mighty mother nature, the butterflies, unfortunately could receive such a cruel treatment, such inhuman treatment from the hands of the housemaster. So according to the writer, it was quite cruel, it was quite unjust. And on the other hand, the writer used to do what? The writer, in order to enjoy the utmost beauty of the nature, in order to enjoy the complete freedom, the writer used to expect that all these beautiful butterflies, they are going to land on his head, land on his hands, land on his body parts, in order to give him a complete expression of of independence. The writer wanted to enjoy the same kind of independence and the same kind of the love for the nature as the butterflies they were enjoying. But unfortunately, the people like the housemaster, they were depriving of the beautiful butterflies and the writer with the facility of enjoying in the nature. The last paragraph on page 41 is, when the telephone rang, the house parent laid the large cardboard paper down on the back cement step and went inside to answer the phone. I walked up the cardboard and looked at the butterfly who he had just pinned to the large paper. It was still moving about, so I reached down and touched it on the wing, causing one of the pins to fall out. Page 42. Okay, what happened next? That the housemaster, after catching all the big, especially the big butterflies, the monarch butterflies, and pinning them on the cardboard sheet, the house parent received a call. The telephone bell was ringing, and in order to attend the call, the house parent, he went inside, leaving the cardboard behind, and the writer Roger Dean, the boy, he went close to the cardboard. He picked that cardboard. He saw that the monarch butterfly, it was still moving, probably it was still alive, and he touched the butterfly, and the butterfly started moving. Page 42. When the writer touched the butterflies, the big monarch butterfly, unfortunately, one of the pins through which the monarch butterfly was being pinned down on the heavy cardboard sheet, that one of the pins unfortunately had fallen to the ground. It started flying around and around trying to get away, but it was still pinned by the one wing with the other straight pin. Finally, its wing broke off and the butterfly fell to the ground and just quivered. The writer was trying its best, the author, the Roger Dean Kisser, was trying its best to release that monarch butterfly from the cruel pain of those pins. The one of the pin had fallen down, but unfortunately the big monarch butterfly was still pinned down by the other side with another pin, and unfortunately in his effort to release that butterfly from those pins, unfortunately one of the wings of the butterfly unfortunately had broken and it had fallen to the ground. I picked up the torn wing and the butterfly, and I spat on its wing and tried to get it to stick back on it. So spat on its wing and tried to get it so stick on so it could fly away and be free before the house parent came back, but it would not stay on him. Again, this paragraph, just like the previous paragraphs on the previous page as well, shows the complete innocent nature of the writer. The writer was so innocent that he picked the butterfly, he picked the wings of the butterfly, and then he just spat on the wings of the butterfly with the hope that probably he might be able to join the wings of the broken wings of the butterfly with the body of the butterfly, but unfortunately it hadn't worked, and the wings couldn't stay, and the wings couldn't just like stick to the body of the butterfly. The next thing I knew, the house parent came walking back out of the back door by the garbage room and started yelling at me, shouting at me. The writer saw what that after attending the call, the house parent, he came back, and the writer knew that he is going to receive a cruel treatment from the house parent. And the house parent immediately after arriving started shelling and screaming and shouting at the writer. I told him that I did not do anything, but he did not believe me. He picked up the cardboard paper and started hitting me on the top of the head. The writer was out of his complete innocence. He was explaining to the house parent that he did nothing. But even then, unfortunately, the house parent wasn't listening to him anything, and then he just picked up the heavy cardboard sheet and started hitting the writer on his head. There were all kinds of butterfly pieces going everywhere. He threw the cardboard down on the ground and told me to pick it up and put it in the garbage inside the back room and back room of the dormitory, and then he left. As the house parent, the cruel house parent was hitting the writer with that heavy cardboard. That's why all the pieces of the butterflies that were pinned down by the house parent on that heavy cardboard, they were flying and scattering here and there. And before leaving, the house parent said that pick all these pieces and then throw them in the garbage. Throw them in the garbage inside. I sat there, the second last paragraph on page 42. I sat there in the dirt by that big old tree for the longest time, trying to fit all the butterfly pieces back together so I could bury them whole, but it was too hard to do so. So I prayed for them, and then I put them in an old torn up shoe box and buried them in the bottom of the fort that I had built in the ground out by the large bamboos near the blackberry bushes. The writer was trying his best to pick all those pieces of the butterfly, but unfortunately, because there were so many in number, that's why it was not possible for him to pick all those pieces of the butterfly. Despite his efforts, unfortunately, he at the end did what? He picked all the pieces of the butterfly and he put them in an old shoe box, and then he buried all the pieces of the broken pieces of the butterflies near in the ground where he used to play quite often over there near the large bamboos, the woody plants around the blackberry bushes. The last paragraph, which is the essence of the short story as well. Again, every year when the butterflies would return to the orphanage and try to land on me, I would try to shoo them away. Shoo away, I have written the meanings of the shoo away, drive away or scatter away. Okay. Shoo them away because they did not know that the orphanage was a bad place to live and a very bad place to die. That from this experience onward, a very cruel experience, the experience which unfortunately had turned the writer from being an innocent boy into a boy, unfortunately, who had lost his innocence and who had been receiving cruel treatment himself as well from the house parent, and who had been watching how the beautiful butterflies, who represent innocence and utmost freedom and independence, had also been receiving cruel treatment from the house parent. The writer next year, from the next moment onward, after this cruel incident of burying those butterflies at the backyard, he did word that from the next year, whenever the butterflies, they used to come and they used to land on him, he used to shoo them away, scatter them away. He used to make them fly away from that orphanage, because according to the writer, that orphanage was a very bad place to live and a very bad place to die. It means orphanage is not a place either to live over there or either to die over there. Okay. So students, I hope you have understood the short story. If we talk about the setting of the short story, then it's an orphanage, and we are talking about the time of the early childhood of the writer. The characters are, the leading character obviously is the writer himself, because the short story has been written from the first person's perspective. So we can call the writer to be as the protagonist, and the antagonist obviously is the housemaster. Conflict is the man versus the man and the man versus the society. Here the cruel house parent is the representation of all those cruel people who poses great struggle and challenges to the people like the writer. Themes of this short story are beauty and cruelty, beauty versus cruelty, the loss of innocence and the desire for freedom. The point of view is that the short story has been written from the first person's perspective, and as far as the tone of the short story is concerned, then obviously in my last lecture I told you that through the use of the words and the diction, we try to guess the tone. So the tone is sad, nostalgic and reflective. So my dear students, I hope you have understood the short story. It was a very simple short story. And if you have any queries, you can ask your questions from your teachers. Okay. Till our next lecture, Allah Hafiz. Goodbye.